My child, my beloved, heaven has urged this message to reach you today, not tomorrow, not later, but at this very moment when your spirit is still enough to hear what has been echoing in the unseen realm since the early hours of dawn. Archangel Michael has been by your side in silence, watching the trembling shifts in the air that humans cannot sense, guarding you as forces you were never meant to face alone circled closer than they should have. Heaven moved quickly, gathering its messengers, because something was spoken in a council of angels that required your name to be set apart, lifted from thousands, marked with urgency, and given priority above messages meant for others. My beloved, understand this. The moment your name was called, the sky trembled in response, and the light around your guardian angel intensified as he stepped forward to speak on your behalf. Heaven said your path for this month was being interfered with, reshaped by a hand that does not belong near your destiny. My child, there is someone whose intentions were once gentle before you, someone whose smile once blended with trust, whose presence once seemed harmless, but heaven says their heart has shifted into a shadow they can no longer hide. Even before you woke today, Archangel Michael stood at the doorway of your spirit, sword drawn, not to frighten you but to protect you from what was whispered in the dark. He has heard things you were never meant to hear, seen movements hidden behind your everyday routine, and sensed an interruption being planned around you by someone who has been watching your patterns more attentively than you realize. My beloved, heaven said the moment you opened your eyes today, a veil that had been covering your discernment began to tear, piece by piece, allowing you to sense the heaviness that has been following you lately. The uneasiness you felt, the strange delays, the sudden confusion, the moments where your heart felt heavy for no reason, none of this was random. All of it were signs placed gently by heaven to prepare you to receive this warning. If you had ignored that feeling, if you had brushed it away, heaven says you would have walked straight into a snare that was never meant to hold you. But because you paused, because your soul was searching, this message was allowed to reach you before midnight, just as heaven intended. My child, listen closely now, because what comes next is not a simple message but a revelation heaven has repeated to your guardian angel 3 times. There is someone whose presence around you has been shifting. Someone who waits for moments when you let your guard down. Someone who listens more than they speak. Someone who notices the smallest changes in your schedule, your habits, your silence. And heaven says that this person carries a weight in their heart, an envy, a dissatisfaction, a hidden intention, that they have cloaked behind kindness. Michael has been observing them each time they look at you, each time they speak about you, each time they think no one is paying attention. My beloved, heaven is not revealing this to scare you but to prepare you. The unseen world has been shaking for days. I wish you could see what your guardian angels saw last night, the way this person's thoughts flickered with shadows, the way their energy shifted when your name was spoken in a conversation you were not present for. Heaven says someone has been trying to enter the spaces of your life through curiosity, through manipulation, through quiet observation. They have been waiting for an opening, a moment when they could twist something small into something damaging. But heaven will not allow your destiny to be touched without warning you first. My child, there is a reason this message reached you before the next sunrise. There is a reason your spirit did not allow you to scroll past. Your protection for this cycle would have remained incomplete if you had ignored the tug in your heart that pulled you to these words. Heaven says this message is the first of several warnings, each meant to guide your steps so you do not stumble into the trap set by someone who wishes to see you confused, slowed, or silenced. Michael has already begun restoring your shield, fortifying the spiritual walls around your home, your thoughts, your decisions, and your movements. My beloved, if you want heaven's voice to remain connected to you through this time, whisper this softly from your heart: I open my spirit to divine clarity, and I receive heaven's protection. Do not say it out loud if you feel watched. Whisper it inside your heart, and heaven will hear you instantly. My child, heaven says this is not the only warning assigned to you. If you miss the next one, it may blindside you at a time when you need sight the most. There is a message that will come soon, one you must not ignore, because it contains the revelation of the person whose intentions have been darkening behind their smile. Heaven says their name will be revealed, but only when your spirit is calm enough to handle the truth without fear. This is why Michael urges you to brace yourself, because the truth is heavier than the mask they have been wearing. My beloved, heaven has been witnessing movements around your life that you have been too distracted, too tired, too burdened to notice. Someone has been watching when you leave, when you return, when your lights turn on, when your voice grows quiet, when your energy shifts. You may believe people pass by without paying attention, but heaven says this particular person, has been noticing every detail, waiting for the right moment to take advantage of your softness. My child, your guardian angel has been intervening silently, redirecting your steps so that you avoid certain places, certain people, certain timings. You thought it was coincidence when you felt the urge to stay home instead of going out, when something told you not to reply to a message, when a sudden delay kept you from meeting someone at the time you had planned. None of it was coincidence. Heaven was shielding you from an encounter that would have drained your spirit in ways you are not yet ready to understand. My beloved, there is a door in your life that heaven says must be watched carefully now. A door you have opened for someone, intentionally or unintentionally. A door they have approached with motives they do not speak but heaven sees clearly. Michael has been guarding that door, standing between you and the shadow of that person's intentions. Heaven says you must not give them access to certain parts of your heart, your plans, your routines, or your vulnerabilities anymore. Do not share too much. Do not reveal everything. Do not assume they are safe just because they pretend to be. My child, there is more. Heaven says that for weeks now, strange delays, unexplained tension, and sudden emotional heaviness have not been random attacks, they were signs that the spiritual atmosphere around you was being tested. Someone's envy was stirring. Someone's patience was wearing thin. Someone's curiosity was becoming intrusive. They have been speaking your name to people you do not know, projecting intentions you were not meant to discover yet. Michael heard those conversations. He saw the thoughts behind their eyes. And he is revealing all of this to you not to frighten you but to ensure you are not caught off guard. My beloved, heaven will soon show you something, a dream, a sign, a sudden realization, an unexpected truth that will click into place like a puzzle piece you didn't know was missing. When it comes, trust it. Do not dismiss it. Do not second-guess yourself. Heaven is clearing your sight because what is approaching requires spiritual sharpness, not confusion. My child, the next days are important. Your intuition will sharpen. Your sensitivity to energy will increase. Your spirit will feel things before your mind understands them. This is heaven's way of guiding you, protecting you, and steering you away from the danger that was trying to approach quietly. My child, before I continue, breathe slowly, because what heaven is preparing to reveal next requires a steady heart. Archangel Michael has not stepped back from your side, instead, he has moved closer, standing on your left, guarding your energy from a shadow that has been inching toward your life with intentions no human eye can easily detect. Heaven says the spiritual atmosphere around you has thickened, not with danger alone, but with the weight of truths that were hidden for too long. The reason you're hearing this message in this exact moment, at this exact hour, is because your spirit finally reached the frequency where heaven's warnings could penetrate the noise surrounding your life. You think you found this message by chance, but heaven says, no. We brought them here. We placed this in their path so they would not walk into December unprotected. My beloved, there is movement behind the scenes, silent movement, that heaven has been watching. A door you believed was closed has been rattled. A path you believed was sealed has been approached. Someone you once gave access to, even in the smallest way, has been trying to reopen their entry into your life without your awareness. They have been speaking about you, thinking about you, and imagining scenarios involving you that heaven says are not aligned with your destiny. Their thoughts drift toward you at odd hours, and heaven has observed their intentions twisting into something darker, something more obsessive. You sensed this shift, didn't you? A sudden heaviness, a strange discomfort, a tightening in your chest when you thought of them, or when their name crossed your mind. That wasn't overthinking. That was your spirit reacting to the truth heaven could see before you did. My child, heaven says that in the last 7 days, there were 3 precise moments where your life could have shifted into a path of spiritual entanglement because of this person. 3 moments where a simple yes, a simple reply, a simple step outside your routine would have led you into their influence. But Michael intervened each time. Twice by creating small delays. Once by stirring a sudden thought in your heart that made you step back. You thought it was your mind changing. Heaven says it was divine interference, it was protection, it was your guardian angel rewriting timing so danger would lose its grip. My beloved, listen deeply now, because heaven has placed this sentence in the center of the message for you. The person who smiles at you is not always the one who protects you. There is someone who has been around your energy whose presence may appear harmless, even polite, even supportive. But inside, their thoughts toward you have become a mixture of envy, curiosity, and frustration. Heaven says they want something from you, attention, access, influence, information, something they do not deserve, something they are trying to get without showing their true face. And because heaven sees what humans hide, your angels have been blocking their attempts silently. My child, in the quiet hours of the night, your guardian angel heard your name spoken by someone with a tone that carried more shadow than care. The vibration of their words sent ripples through the spiritual realm, alerting heaven that their intentions were shifting again. That is when Michael stepped closer to you, not because he fears what they might do, but because heaven refuses to let your destiny be touched by someone unworthy of knowing even a fraction of your path. There is something powerful upon your life, something rare, something heaven ordained, and that is why certain souls feel drawn to you in ways they cannot explain. Some are drawn by light, others by control. Heaven sees the difference even when humans don't. My beloved, over the next few days, you may begin to feel certain things more intensely, an intuition sharpening like a blade, a thought that repeats itself, a gut feeling that keeps pulling your attention toward or away from certain individuals. These sensations are not random. They are communication from heaven, guiding you to stay aware, alert, and protected. If you suddenly feel drained around a particular person, pay attention. If you feel uneasy when someone messages you, pay attention. If you feel a sudden discomfort when someone tries to get close to your personal life, pay attention. Heaven says your intuition is not being increased, it is being activated. My child, your spirit has been exhausted lately, hasn't it? As if you've been carrying weight that doesn't belong to you. Heaven says this is because someone has been projecting their emotional heaviness toward you. Their thoughts, their frustrations, their longing, their obsession, all of it has been creating a spiritual pull that has been draining your energy quietly. That is why you may have felt tired even after resting, why your mind struggled to stay clear, why your heart felt overwhelmed without explanation. But now that heaven is revealing this, you will begin to feel your clarity returning. Michael is cutting the cord that has been attached to your energy, severing the connection someone tried to form without your permission. My beloved, heaven wants you to prepare for a revelation. Not today, not in this moment, but very soon, when your spirit is ready, the identity of this person will become clear. You will see their intentions not through their actions, but through a sudden knowing, a sudden realization, a sudden moment of spiritual clarity where their name, their face, or their energy will rise in your awareness and you will understand heaven's warning instantly. Do not fear that moment. Heaven will not reveal anything you cannot handle. My child, heaven has seen you struggling silently, trusting the wrong voices, doubting your own intuition, feeling alone in moments where your heart was searching for reassurance. But you were never alone. Every tear, every fear, every moment of confusion, your angel stood beside you, whispering guidance into your spirit even when you couldn't hear it. And now, because you opened this message, heaven can finally speak clearly to you, without interruption, without interference, without shadows hiding the truth. My beloved child, before I speak the next part, heaven asks you to sit with a calm heart, because what is coming is not just revelation, it is alignment. The air around you may feel heavier right now, almost as if the atmosphere itself knows something sacred is being spoken into your life. That sensation is real. Michael has widened his wings around you, creating a shield that blocks every flicker of negativity trying to slip into your thoughts as you read these words. Heaven wants you to receive this part with an open spirit, because the truth that follows has been waiting to reach you for months. My child, heaven says there is a pattern you didn't notice, not because you were unaware, but because your heart is pure enough to keep giving people the benefit of the doubt. This purity is beautiful, but it is also the reason someone took advantage of your kindness. There is a person who has been studying your reactions, learning your habits, paying attention to your silence more than your words. Heaven says they have been observing when you are most vulnerable, when you are most tired, when your guard is lower than usual. Not with love, not with compassion, but with an intention to influence your choices and shift your emotional direction in ways that benefit them. My beloved, heaven shows me an image of a closed door, a door you shut long ago, perhaps emotionally, spiritually, or mentally, and someone keeps knocking even though they have no right to re-enter. They have been trying to reopen this door through indirect ways, through messages, through mutual connections, through thoughts they push toward you, through energetic pull. This is why you sometimes feel a random heaviness even when nothing is wrong. Someone has been tugging at your energy like a thread, trying to pull you closer without ever stepping forward truthfully. But heaven says no more. Michael has stood in front of that door now, sword drawn, blocking any attempt to reopen what heaven already closed for your protection. My child, heaven says you have been sensing this energetic disturbance in your sleep. There were nights recently when you woke up suddenly, or felt watched, or found your thoughts drifting towards someone you had no intention of remembering. That wasn't coincidence, that was spiritual interference. Someone was thinking of you intensely, trying to pull your energy into their space. Heaven has now intercepted this, but you needed to understand what you were experiencing so you don't blame yourself for what wasn't yours to carry. My beloved, I must tell you something that heaven whispered only moments before you read these lines. The storm around their life was not meant for them to fight alone. Heaven has seen your silent endurance, the way you keep moving even when your spirit feels drained, the way you stay strong even when your heart feels tired. But there is something you didn't realize: the exhaustion you've been feeling is not all yours. You have been carrying the emotional weight of someone whose life is in chaos, someone who does not know how to release their darkness except by attaching it to others. You have absorbed energy that never belonged to you, and heaven is cleansing it from you right now as these words enter your awareness. My child, listen closely now. Heaven says someone's curiosity about you turned into longing, and that longing turned into obsession. Not obsession in the dramatic sense, but in the spiritual sense, the kind where a person keeps focusing on your life more than their own, keeps imagining scenarios with you, keeps replaying memories, keeps wondering what you're doing, even when you haven't spoken to them. Heaven says their thoughts toward you grew darker as their disappointment in their own life deepened. And instead of healing themselves, they began to pull subconsciously at your energy, trying to feel connected to your light because they felt none in their own world. My beloved, heaven wants you to understand this deeply: your light has power. Your presence has impact. Your energy is stronger than you realize. People feel healed around you because your spirit carries peace. People feel safe in your presence because heaven has marked you. But sometimes, people who are hurting can mistake your light as something they're entitled to, and that is where danger begins. My child, this is why heaven moved urgently. This is why Michael stood at your doorway. This is why your message was delivered today and not later, because the spiritual pull toward you intensified enough that heaven needed to stop it before it reached a point of attachment. You were never meant to be entangled with this person's inner shadows. My beloved, heaven is not trying to frighten you, heaven is trying to prepare you. What comes next is clarity, not fear. You will begin to see true intentions. You will begin to recognize false kindness. You will begin to sense energy shifts behind smiles. Someone's mask will slip, not dramatically, but subtly, enough for you to understand who has been thinking of you with an intention that does not belong near your destiny. My child, heaven says the reason your protection is increasing this month is because something powerful is coming to you, a blessing, an opportunity, a shift in alignment, something this person is not meant to be part of. They would only slow your path, confuse your heart, or drain your spirit. Heaven is separating their energy from yours before your blessing arrives.